Peace, it's Equality Fragrances coming to you from Prince George's County, Maryland. Welcome to my cipher. A cipher is a person, place, or thing within my circumference. The understanding of my cipher is peace. For all those new to the channel and those who have been supporting me since day one, I humbly appreciate all your support. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell so you'll be notified when I drop some new videos. All of that goes a long way in helping the channel grow, and it costs you nothing to do. With that being said, come on in, sit down, and let's build. Today, we're going to be doing our continuation of Rose Week. Now, I'm going to be giving you 5 fruity rose fragrances that you can wear. These aren't the best. I'm not saying these are the best, but these are highly complimented. I'm going to give you one honorable mention because I think it deserves to be mentioned within this Rose Week, and it fits in this particular category. All of these fragrances I have received unsolicited compliments from, well, except one, and I'll tell you which one that is. And I only wear that on special occasions or every now and then anyway. It needs to be extremely cold when I wear that, and I'll explain to you why that is. Other than that, as I said in my first video, rose is the oldest style fragrance in the entire world. People was bathing in rose water. It was a sign of sexuality, sensuality, as well as nobility. If you are a overly masculine man or a refined man, you a man in a suit, the feminine energy of rose will complement that masculinity, make you more approachable, more inviting, and more alluring. When women smell that on you, they're going to say, ooh, who was that? Damn, he smelled like that. It happens. Trust me, I know. So with that being said, let's start the show. Starting off with the honorable mention is a fragrance that is the epitome of a jammy rose. I mean, this is jammy. It's sweet, it's delicious, but it is jammy as a mug. Now, this is a fragrance that just leans feminine. I'm not even going to say it's unisex feminine. It leans feminine. Does that mean that a man can't wear it? Of course not. I wear it, but I wear it on certain occasions, and I'll get to that later. This comes from the house of Rosendo Mateu. This is Sweet Rose. This is one that I like to wear going to bed, fresh out the shower. This is also one that I would wear around a woman I already have an established relationship with. I wouldn't wear this if I'm going out or if I'm in a suit just going out to meet people. This isn't a rose I would wear because it just is so jammy and it leans feminine. Now, this is one, as a woman, I want you smelling like this like 80%, 70% of the time. You can dress this up to a ballroom. You can wear this whenever. This is an absolute gorgeous fragrance, just not for me per se. When it opens up with a rose jam. You got strawberry, berries, passion fruit. It just makes it really bright, really jammy. You get green leaves, you got that Turkish and Bulgarian rose that helps with the jamminess, but also cleanness. It's almost a soapy, clean rose as well. And especially when the musk comes in, it's smoothed down with vanilla, cedar, and sandalwood. I don't get much vetiver. I believe vetiver's in here. I don't really get much, but I get a lot of sandalwood. I get a lot of cedarwood in this fragrance. Overall, the dry down for me is better than the opening just because it's just really feminine leaning. But other than that, this is one you can get for your woman. This is one, women that watch me, you can wear this for Valentine's Day. It is absolutely good. And that's Sweet Rose. Number 5 is a compliment beast of a fragrance. I'm talking about compliments from people wearing a mask out in public. You do not know these people. This is just mass appealing. It's juicy, it's sweet, and it's absolutely good. This is unisex down the middle. Unlike the other fragrance, men, definitely you need to get on board. I have talked about this fragrance in my spring list, and I've also put it in my summer list. This is coming from the house of Kajal, and this is Lamar. Now, this is one of the best interpretations of pineapple I have smelt. It's almost very reminiscent to Kilian's apple brandy on the rocks. The way that pineapple and apple combination in the open mixes, it makes for a very crisp, ripe pineapple when you add those two to meat. You also have the almost wetness, spicy, fresh aromatic from the cardamom, which is just like Kilian's apple brandy on the rocks. It's just that that same kind of fresh cardamom that's also used in Mont Blanc Legend. It's just very fresh, but it just smells more natural here. You also get that coriander that adds to that spiciness. The rose pops on my skin. You get a little Bulgarian and Turkish rose. What I get and how I interpret that is I get a little bit of jaminess, yet a very fresh rose, and it pops off of my skin. As it begins to transition and that opening dies down, I get that vanillic amber musk, very clean, and cedarwood comes in. It gets very woody. This is a fragrance you need to have in your collection, men or women. I'm telling you, it just works. This is from the house of Kajal, that's Lamar. Coming in number 4 was a fragrance. Honestly, I was skeptical on it. For years, I've heard people talk about this fragrance, and I love rose fragrances. But when I looked at the notes, and this is why looking at the notes isn't always the best thing, it just read like another rose, jammy rose oud fragrance. Raspberry rose oud fragrance. I've smelt enough of those, I'm actually bored with it, right? So I was just kind of a little skeptical. Then I eventually said, well, I saw it for a good price, and I just said, just let me get it. And I'm gonna tell you now, I'm happy that it's in my collection. It is so different from some of the other raspberry rose oud fragrances. And this is coming from the house of Atelier Des Ors, and this is Rose Omiyad. Now with this fragrance, I get a very jammy, bright, peppery, spicy rose. Oh man, you get this natural sweetness with brown sugar. You can smell it. You ain't gonna smell it in the air, but if you do that, you can smell this sweetness of brown sugar. Very warm. You get the patchouli, which adds body to the fragrance that makes it slightly darker. Again, I spoke about it on my other video. Rose and patchouli goes hand in hand. It just works. Now, in the base, you start seeing oud, amber, and sandalwood. For me, I get more amber and sandalwood. I don't get a lot of oud in here. I'm not saying that oud's not in the fragrance. I'm just saying off of my skin, I get more sandalwood. So if you're somebody who really don't care for oud, definitely give this one a try, especially if you like rose fragrances. And that's Rose Omiyad. At number 3 is the reason why I was kind of skeptical on Rose Omiyad. Because for me, when it comes to fruity rose oud fragrances, this is really the only fragrance you need. Now, some people say it leans feminine. I don't think so. This is unisex right down the middle, but there is like this fruit basket that's going on here. This is from the house of Xerjoff. This is more than words. This fragrance is absolutely nuclear. 10 plus hours, an amazing scent trail. Do not overspray this. It is not coming off clothing. It will be there for a couple days. This is just good, man. What I get is something that's you get that slightly animalic oud, nothing too crazy, just slightly animalic. You got this fruitiness, just bright fruits. I feel like I get some citruses, some raspberry in there. Just a conglomerate of fruits. You get different aspects of florals. I feel like there's some Bulgarian rose, maybe some Moroccan rose in here, some freshness, some cleanness, some jaminess within this fragrance. I get a lot of resinous, warm, ambery, slightly smoky nuances with the fragrance. This is just works. It's ambery, warm, rosy, woody. It's all you need. More than words from Xerjoff. Coming in number 2 is a fragrance I have talked about at least for 2 years. I was telling people about this fragrance. I don't know what it's going for now, but at one point this was going for like $65 at discounters. This was a steal, $65, $70. It might be more now. I don't know. I haven't looked. I don't need to look. This is going to last me for a while. This is a beautiful rose fragrance. This fragrance was made from the same perfumer who did BDK's Tobacco Rose. Actually, those two fragrances are extremely similar. This is more versatile because it's slightly brighter and I can wear in any season, where BDK Tobacco Rose is warm, gourmand, chocolatey kind of rose fragrance. This is coming from the house of Van Cleef Arpels. This is Rose Rouge. I've been telling y'all about this fragrance. This is like a fine rosé wine is how I would describe it. You got black currant, which adds a little bit of zinginess and dank to it. Bergamot, raspberry, Bulgarian rose. You got some patchouli, which gives it body. It's also slightly chocolatey. There's some cacao in here, so it gives a slightly chocolatey, sweet tinge to it. You got musk, I believe vanilla. This is just, if you have unisex right down the middle. I love wearing this casually because of all the fruitiness up top. This is one I wear in the summertime. It just bangs, a compliment absolute monster. This is from the house of Van Cleef Arpels. This is Rose Rouge. Coming in at my number one fragrance. This is a unisex fruity rose fragrance right down the middle. I have worn this fragrance and have received unsolicited compliments. While I was testing this fragrance, my lady was going to a networking event. I told her just wear this and made her my test dummy. She said the entire night she was receiving unsolicited compliments from men and women at this event. It just works. So you can wear it to a classy event. You can wear it casually. This is just something that I think if you love rose fragrances, you should sample. I'm not telling you to buy anything, but I love it. This is coming from the house of Zaharoff. This is Signature Rose. Like the name, you can wear this anytime, any place, all the time. This is my favorite from the house. Now, you will look at this and you will say, well, there's no fruits listed in the fragrance. As I said before in my other video yesterday, and I think I said it earlier today, rose within itself has a fruity facet to it. Depending on the type of rose you use will give different elements of that. So with this, I get something jammy, raspberry, a little bit of cinnamon, and that's probably coming from the Bulgarian rose. I also get a freshness, a citrus, not soapy per se, but almost teetering on that fresh soapiness, almost waxy, and that's coming from the Turkish rose. It's also ambery and you have peony. A beautiful floral bouquet that you get up there with the fruity nuances. As it starts to dry down, you start getting that Zaharoff DNA, the frankincense, the myrrh, the oud, the vanilla. It's a natural sweetness which comes from the sugar they have in there. It's almost like sugar cane. This leans into the realm of Portrait of a Lady because it's a slightly churchy dry down, but not smelling like Portrait of a Lady. Unlike Tiziana Terenzi Purpura, that's a 1-for-1. This is something that's similar, but goes in its own direction. This has been compared to Rosendo Mateu Sweet Rose online. I think that's a lie, or people's nose is broken. They are absolutely nothing alike. Not in the opening, not in the dry down to me. And I own both of them. Other than that, one to get your nose on, check it out. This is from the house of Zaharoff. This is Signature Rose. So that was my 5 fruity rose fragrances that you can wear for Valentine's Day of 2022. Now, again, these aren't the best of the best. I went through my collection and I tried to pick out 5 of some of the best that I own within my collection. Throughout the week, I'm gonna give you different elements of rose fragrances that you can wear. Listen, when it comes to Valentine's Day, I think you cannot go wrong with wearing a rose fragrance. It is undefeated when it comes to being with your loved ones or with a significant other during Valentine's Day. With that being said, thank you all for watching. I'm gonna leave you the way I greeted you, and that's in universal language of peace.